just thought because it's the intro, it's Friday night, I'll just treat you with a little track, man. I want the CL, 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 I want that CL, I want that CL, I want that CL, Robert. I want that CL, I want that CL, I want the treble, I want that treble, I want the CL, I want the CL, I want the CL, I want the CL, 2012 and 2010. So I thought we'd just start off with a track, you know? Trust me, the album is coming very soon. The album will be coming very soon, man. Okay, it's my best-selling album. Guys, welcome. Welcome. And it's true. I want to see that track is called Live. The chorus is I want the CL, I want the CL, but the title of the track is called Live. So guys, we're gonna have some wine. And we're gonna toast to hopefully some great questions. Hopefully some great questions, guys, you know. So bottoms up. Guys, it's Friday. It's Friday, okay? I don't care about your isolation matches. It's Friday. We're gonna ball, man. So this is for this is for Mount. This is for Alexis Sanchez. Not bad. This is for Lille, saying what's up in France. And this is for Dortmund ahead of Saturday. Please don't be the victim of a war crime on Saturday evening, okay? Please don't be a victim of a war crime on Saturday evening. So that's, and also finally, this is for Jeff Bezos. Cut the check. Your boy is starving. Your boy needs that cake. Cut the check. Call me. Not bad, not bad. So, guys, we are here. I hope you are enjoying yourselves. I hope you're great, man. I hope you're having a great, lovely, amazing Friday night, man. Amazing Friday night. Always Friday night. Shout out to Kurt Cobain, man. Shout out to Kurt Cobain. Lithium is one of my favorite songs. No, Lithium and In Bloom. Both of those songs are on my playlist, man. Amazing songs. Amazing songs, man. So, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are doing great, man. And hope you guys are, living that life, man. So, guys, man, you sense the stuff, guys. If I get a bit drunk, don't take it personally, man, because we're drinking wine. So, guys, if you don't drink, this is for you. Have some juice, man. If you do drink, please pour your condiments with you right now. So, guys, let's open up this Q&A, man. Let's start this bad boy, man. Let's get this bad boy going. So, first up the batch. Let's see what's iguana. Can you open up your bitch? First up the batch, man. So again, I thank you guys for sending in all of those questions, guys. Remember, this weekend is going to pop off because we've got Bayern Dortmund, and then we've got the Madrid derby, and we've got Der Klassiker. And look, all I say is that Dortmund, you can't keep getting bent over and violated by these dudes. I don't care who they are. You have to stand up and be counted. So I just hope that Dortmund, they try and come up with something a bit new. So first off, though, the batch. Let's bring this in, man. All right. From Miles Olo. Hi, HH. Hi. My question for the Q&A is, ow, my neck. What do you think would be the best current starting 11 for Nigeria? And also, what are your general thoughts on Nigeria's chances at the World Cup qualifiers that are coming up later this year. To be honest, I'm a bit scared because Raw is Class B. This is a better group than in previous years. I mean, I'm excited about Osimhen. I think he's a very, very good player. And I think he can become an amazing striker. Chukeze is a very good player. He's also been doing very well at Villarreal. Iwobi has sort of gone off the thing, but Simon Moses is here. Ahmed Musa shouldn't be in this team anymore. He's not. You've had your time. He shouldn't be in this team anymore. But I've got to be real with you, and I think, especially when it comes to Nigeria, I've got to be very real and very cutthroat. I am not overtly excited with regards to their chances at the World Cup. And even when it comes to the World Cup qualifiers, I think the issue is, I still feel like if there are amazing players out there, you go to Under the Bridge, you go to Obalende, you go to Mainland Bridge, you go to all of those places, you can get truly talented ballers and weave them into the team combined with the European-based players. But I think, as you stated in your question, the big issue here is Gennaro Rowe. He's Class B, and I think I always take issue with a lot of these white Europeans who you failed in Europe and you just come to Africa and you can pretty much take your picking as to whatever job you want, man. So the qualifiers, Nigeria have to be very careful. This isn't 1998. This isn't 2000 or early 2000s. The African sides are a lot more closer to. I mean, look at when Nigeria played South Africa. Normally, Nigeria would beat the crap out of South Africa, but that was a very close game. Your boy Percy saying what's up. So I think I would change the coach. I think that having the right coach and manager is very key because it's not only about the coaching of the team, it's also the acquisition of talent. And I do think that there is quality talent out there. And what I always say for Nigeria and so forth is that don't restrict yourself by only picking players in Europe. Don't pick players in Europe. Spread your wings, spread yourself, and look to try and get players from beyond just the European base. That's the first thing that I would do, man. So, but look, as I said again, I am not too excited about Nigeria's chances at a World Cup. Whether I'm more excited about their chances at a World Cup qualifier, man, that's just me keeping it a stack, man. So next question we've got here, man. Thank you for that, man, Miles. Thank you very much for that question, man. From Matt B. Thank you for the question, Matt B. It says, 1, if Juve gets knocked out, will you do a 4-hour stream? So that's the first question. Second, why do people think Barcelona can come back against PSG? Who the hell thinks that? Sevilla are chokers and we played so many 120 minutes games these past 2 months. Guys like Messi, De Jong, Pedri and more look tired. As F, and I doubt Koeman will rest them in the Osasuna game. Shout out to Osasuna, because he's stubborn and doesn't trust the bench like Puch, Moriba, Goatwit, Trincao. Although Trincao should start. So to your first questions, if you get knocked, will you do a 4-hour stream? I'll do a 3-hour. I can. If, and I think you're assuming if they get knocked against FC Porto. So if they get knocked against FC Porto, I think I can. 4-hour, I can't promise you a 4-hour. I can almost guarantee you a 3-hour breakdown, specifically focusing on Cristiano's failure at Juventus. So I can give you a 3-hour for Juve against FC Porto, but it ain't gonna happen. I think Juve will get it done, and I think Juve are finding their goal scoring touch, and I think they will find the goals to beat FC Porto. Although they have to be wary of that away goal. Number 2, why do people think Barcelona can come back against PSG? I don't think it's a case of people thinking they can come back against PSG. I think the issue is LSG. That's the issue. The issue is people don't believe in PSG. And I think ever since you had the combination of the miracle at Camp Nou and the nightmare in Paris, never say never. Never say never, specifically where it's pertaining to these clowns known as LSG. Because with LSG, anything can happen. Anything can happen with LSG. So it's not about, oh, Barcelona came back against Sevilla. No. It's the fact of PSG are always a team that, based on past experience, even if PSG had a 9-0 lead going into the second leg, I still wouldn't trust them. That's just how messed up I think, PSG are, man. So, but thank you for that cue, man. Thank you for that cue, man. But yeah, no. Like, I still think that they'll come back, but it's not because of what they've done against Sevilla, it's because you can't trust LSG. All right. Let's hit this, man. From Latza, more like from Latza. HH. Now, I don't see. The thing with this is that because people are getting quite known on the Hangouts and so forth, sometimes I don't know whether this is the real person from the Hangouts or someone is just trying to use their name and sell their name. So I have no idea. So whether this is the real or fake Natsa, I have no idea. I'm just reading the freaking question. HH, how many more chances are we going to give Pep in this CL until we say he's a fraud? Hash. Even Pellegrini got an average City team to a semis, won 2 Premier League titles before him. City did not bring in that bald Catalan. Oh my God, bald Catalan to win the Premier League. They were already doing this before him. Something tells me this isn't the real Natsa. They bought him to bring in the big boy home. Until then, I can't put Pep in the same sentence as Ancelotti. Okay, it's definitely not Natsa. Definitely not Natsa. Until then, I can't put Pep in the same sentence as Ancelotti, Uncle Mo, Zizou, and Luis Enrique. Sorry. How did it take this clown 4 years to realize he needs a solid defense to have any chance on the CL? Remember, I'm a #DOD merchant and not a domestic merchant. #DOD, man. That is what makes you an elite. If you can't complete the DOD, you're trash. Thing with Pep is this, and I think, I just hope Pep realizes that you've done what you've needed to do domestically. That is complete. Well done. Congratulations. Nobody can open their mouth and question the brilliance of Pep Guardiola as a coach, a tactician, and his success domestically. And when you look at his trophy haul and you look at his success, he's a freaking beast. He's a beast. So that's to one side. But see, the thing here is this. Pep has to realize that the Champions League is what truly defines you as an elite. And every time he doesn't succeed in Europe, every time that he falters, we're going to bring up the fact that you're an amazing manager, but maybe you need specific players or a specific player to succeed. What made the FC Porto transfer amazing for Mourinho was it was FC Porto. Who the hell did they have? Did they have anybody? Deck was from the road. Cavalli was from the road. What made it the 2010 thing is so amazing was how many truly amazing players did they have? Mourinho won 2 Champions Leagues without Messi, Xavi, Iniesta. Players who you would call generational talents. He didn't have any generational talents in any of the squads he had when he won the CL twice. So all we ask of Pep is show us that you're truly a great man. Because if you're truly great, you can do what Fergie did in 99. Although there are a bit questions of how that happened, but Fergie, shout out to your boy Fergie. He won with freaking Neville and so forth, and Nicky Butt and all them man them, But yeah, this is what will define his legacy is because if he wins the Champions League with Man City, then we have to have another very serious conversation about Pep Guardiola and where he ranks. You can already put him in the conversation in terms of the trophies that he's won, how he won them, his impact on the game, and so forth. But if you want to get even deeper, and we now want to call him one of the true greats and one of the true elites, he has to win that Champions League without Messi. He just has to. Because once he does that, that is a massive weight off his shoulders, and then we can then say, aha, he isn't dependent on particular players. He does not need particular players to truly succeed at the highest level. So Um, it's just a matter of him trying to say what's up, you know. But yeah, you can't keep failing, and we go again this season. We go again this season to see whether he'll finally right his many wrongs, man. Um, all right, let's see what this guy is saying. Thank you for that question, real or fake Natsa. From R9 has less UCL goals than PK. That's an interesting name, you moron. Are people overreacting? You see, you can't. First of all, you have a moronic username, and you can't even spell right. Are people overreacting? I suppose when they say Barcelona are a finished club, and that they will become as bad as AC Milan and Man United. Players like Pedri, Araujo, Frankie, Antifati, Dest, and Mingueza have the potential to be world-class players. Are you smoking grass, Mingueza? How long do you think it will take them to get to a UCL final if Messi leaves the season? You cannot overstate the damage it would do to Barcelona if they miss Messi. Because this is what I said again. I can't, even for as long as I've been watching football, I can't remember the time when Barcelona did not have an outstanding player in their team. So when I started watching football, Romario was in Barcelona. Then from Romario, you had Rivaldo. Then from Rivaldo, you had... from Romario, you had Ronaldo. Then from Ronaldo, you had Rivaldo. Then from Rivaldo, you had Ronaldinho. Then from Ronaldinho, you had Messi. And Messi was here for, a decade or so forth. So if Messi leaves, it will be the first time since before Romario that Barcelona will be... So this is probably the first time since like maybe the late 80s or early 90s. Because remember, that Cruyff team, you had Stoichkov and Romario in there. Two outstanding players. So yes, Barca still have quality dudes. But don't... If Messi leaves and Barca don't get another big-time player, so they don't get an Mbappe, they don't get a Haaland and so forth, you have to be very wary about them becoming Milan or Man United. You have to be. Because all through those years, Milan and United, they had good players. But they just don't have an outstanding player. They didn't have an outstanding manager. Ronald Koeman is a good manager. He ain't no Fergie. Griezmann, these guys, okay, Pedri, Araujo, Frankie, they're quality players, but they're not outstanding players. Now, Ansu Fati, who knows what he could do? But he's very young. And prodigies like a Messi or a Ronaldo, big Ronaldo, don't come around very, very, very often. So guys who, at the age of 18, 19, 20, can be outstanding are crazy. And let's keep it real. Let's just keep it real. Even when Messi was 19, 20, 21, he wasn't what Mbappe was. He wasn't what big Ronaldo was. So Fati is an excellent player, superb player, one of the best young players in the world. Assuming that he's going to become this huge, amazing talent, it's a bit deep. So Barca have to be very worried. So say, how long do you think it will take to get to a CL final if Messi leaves this season? If they don't sign a big-time player, it could take about 5 years. It could take about 5, 6 years. I think Barca will just have to, because they'll have to go through a restructure. And that restructure could take about 5, 6 years, because I just think that, and just look at, I think what Bayern Munich did to them, I think Barca are going to continue to have PTSD. So your question isn't how long will it take for them to get to a CL final? The question is how long will it take for them to get over the 8-2 PTSD? And it may take some time. Brazil are still suffering from PTSD. If Brazil didn't lose 7-1, they would have beaten Belgium at that World Cup. The reason why Brazil lost to Belgium at that World Cup, it had a lot to do with PTSD. Yes, Belgium played well and so forth. A lot of it was to do with that 7-1 gives you PTSD. 8-2 gives you PTSD. And the only way to cure that PTSD is that you need to do something outstanding and amazing. And you can only do that if you have truly amazing players, which is what Brazil don't currently have, okay, apart from Neymar, and which is what Barcelona definitely don't have once Homeboy leaves. These are quality players, but once Messi leaves, who is a true supernova superstar? Not many, man. So be very afraid. Be very, very afraid, man. All right. So I think this is an interesting one here, man. Let's bring this up. So from Yasir Said, who says, "Dear Mr. Chief Ogu Double H, thank you, man. Oh, what a way to intro me. The man, the myth, the legend. I'm just a dude. The speaker of truth. I try to, and the most unbiased, except for Zad and CR7, etc. Football analyst in world football." Sir, my good sir, I want you to dive in deep in the issue of Liverpool FC. As it stands, Arsenal Football Club are more likely to finish above them, finishing in the top four. If they don't win the CL and don't get to top four, can you see Liverpool fading away and be in the risk of repeating history and going on an EPL title drought like before, and go another 30 years before they win a league title? Much love, bro. Also, Trent Alexander-Arnold needs to find a new position he cannot do to defend. What is happening to Liverpool is insane. I didn't think this would happen. And I keep saying that this has nothing to do with injuries. This is beyond the injuries. Like, I didn't think that the front three who have scored so many goals, Salah broke the goal scoring record in the Premier League. Mane was joint top scorer one season. When you see what these guys have been able to do, specifically Mane and Salah, and to see how inept they've been, it's worrying. It is deeply worrying. I think it's one of those things where nobody's perfect. You have picks and troughs, and Klopp is suffering now. Just as Pep has been suffering in the Champions League. I mean, for all of Pep's amazing success, he's suffered a lot in the Champions League. So you will always suffer in whatever field that you're doing. My thing is, you need to give Klopp a chance, because he's earned that right. You can't just ignore the 99 points, the 97 points, the Premier League win, Champions League win, the goals scored, the winning ratio. You can't just ignore that because that was an amazing achievement. It's too extreme to now think that, because this is what is scary about Liverpool is, are we saying that, so you went ahead, you went hammer, went crazy, you won the season, that last season, and afterwards you just go defunct? Because my thing is, how do they now react? A key thing in sports, in many sports, is about your reaction. Is when you face adversity, what do you do when adversity hits you? Do you just wallow? Do you just fold? Or do you stand up and make yourself counted, man? Because this, I tell you, it's shocking. It's shocking. But something tells me that if they keep Klopp, if they do keep him, and he gets supported in the market, they keep him, he gets supported in the market, I think they will bounce back. But if he doesn't get supported in the market, Liverpool could be in trouble. If Klopp leaves and he gets replaced, Liverpool could be in serious trouble. So definitely, you're now looking at FSG with regards to, do you want to have sustained success, and how much do you believe in this team? How much do you believe in this club? Because what this season has shown is you need to have a squad, and you need to have a plan Z. It's not enough to have a plan B, you have to have a plan Z. So in the worst case scenario, you've got defensive cover over defensive cover. I mean, as I said again, you have to look at this thing carefully. Liverpool have been very unlucky with the injuries, with the defenders. But the main thing is the attack. So that's when you say to yourself that for Liverpool, okay, I heard that you wanted to go for Timo Werner, but then if you didn't get Timo Werner, okay, you got Jota. But my thing is, what about other guys as well? Have a third, fourth, fifth, sixth option. But if you put those options to one side, the mystery that nobody can figure out is how have two of the most clutch, deadliest goal scorers and players, two of the best players in the Premier League, perhaps even in Europe, look so bad? It doesn't make any sense. It has nothing to do with the defense. How have Salah and Mane just totally dried up goal scoring, where these guys were scoring goals for fun? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Hence why I wanted to. It's all psychological. This is mental, because to lose 4 games in a row is bad. To lose 4 games in a row at Anfield, a place that was such a fortress, psychologically that must destroy you. Because Anfield was the fortress. Anfield was a place where they felt, we are unbeatable, we are invincible. But to be beaten so badly by different teams, to be touched up so badly by different teams, I think that's because, again, the Everton thing would have hurt. The first one against Burnley would have hurt, but the Man City one as well, your fierce rivals, the way that they beat them up, it would have hurt. So Liverpool are at their most vulnerable right now psychologically. So it's just going to have to be about how they react. So this is now a test. Because City had to react last season. Because Liverpool beat them up. And City were worried, they were losing tons of games. And people thought, Pep is done. Pep is screwed. Liverpool are here to say that. And they said, okay, fine, we'll lick our wounds. They bounce back in amazing form. So for Liverpool, you have to do the same. Like, what makes you a true great champion is how you bounce back. And that's the key thing. They need to be able to bounce back properly, man. All right. Thank you for the question that you asked, Said, man. Let me open this up. From Splashnet. Thanks for the dope Splashnet. HH, what are your thoughts on footballers' salaries? In life, there's a famous quote which says, your income earning is relative to the problems you solve. And football is no doubt the most popular demanding profession on earth. Most big clubs have tens of millions of fans who invest their money and their time into the clubs. So in your opinion, why is there such an uproar in how much footballers earn when they're pressured to deliver week in, week out is like no other? Most importantly, the amount of followers fans they have is like no other. Also, shout out to my boy King Soul. Can't wait for the Europa Conference League. Laugh out loud. This has nothing to do with what they do week in, week out. You're kicking a ball around. And you're playing a sport that a lot of people love. I'd happily play football 5 times a week for free. You're not going to pay me and pay me thousands? Oh my God, that'd be amazing. So, and I think I had this was actually what my brother even told me when we had the discussion years ago. He said it's about supply and demand. Seeing how much a footballer earns is crazy. Like when you think of teachers and nurses and doctors, and you see how much a guy who kicks the ball around earns, it's crazy. And I'm like, when we looked at the salaries of the Barcelona players, we're like, this is messed up. But then you have to think to yourself, supply and demand. Do you know how many people go to these games? Do you know how expensive these tickets are? But yet they buy them. Do you know how expensive the merchandise is? But yet they buy them. Do you know how expensive subscription to these sports football channels are? But yet people buy them. People can't pay you something from a pool that doesn't exist. You can just say, okay, 300,000 a week. And we're going to pay you because you're cool. No. We're paying you 300,000 a week because the sports you're in is able to generate that much that you can earn. Hence why when people say, oh, women should be paid as much as men. Or no, female football players should be paid as much as men. I'm like, no. It's not because women are lesser and they don't work as hard. It's because um, the female game just does not generate as much money as the men's game. So where are you pulling this money from to now pay women around the same amount as the men? So it's not really about doing the week in, week out. It's about the demand there. There are way more people that are watching men's football than most of the sports in the world. And when you now combine all those eyeballs, all those customers, all those people, that is why you will have so many people wanting to pay the money, and that is how you will now give them this money. I have another saying: never count another man's pocket. You do you. While you're complaining about this guy earning millions, what are you doing? How are you living your life? How about you work hard to try and be able to earn a lot of money for yourself instead of trying to worry about what another man is earning? So never worry about another man's pocket. And my thing about this is that these are people who are the very best at the most popular sport in the world. So if you do the calculation there, you are amazing at the most popular sport in the world, it will probably mean you will earn a lot of money. So it's as simple as that, man. You have to just look at the fact that the sport generates cash, and that's it. Thank you for that, bro. From this is cool from Jeff. What's the 3 games from the past you wish you would have done as a hangout? As a Chelsea fan, I'd have loved to have seen you do a 2012 one. Oh no, that has to be number 1. 2012 would have that doing, because remember 2012, this was the early days of the football hot when I don't think I had a job. I think I was using my Xbox 360 webcam. I don't even think I had a camera. If I had a camera, I was using my 360 webcam to do a camera thing. And I think either that's or I was doing things by audio. So I completely do not have the kind of wherewithal or knowledge or even the capacity to do like live hangouts. So that would have been amazing. Like, so 2012, to do a post-match stream on that night, it would have been insane. Specifically how it went down, it would have been insane. Another really good one, 7-1. That would have been a crazy hangout. If we had done a straight up hang, and you know what, guys, I think that would have been an all-nighter. I don't think I'd have been able to say. If we had done that, I think we're looking at like a 12-hour hangout after 7-1 because there'd be so much to talk about. There would be so much to talk about because that is one of the most infamous games in history. 2013 CL final, Robin's redemption. I would have loved to do that. Robin's personal redemption. I would have loved to do that. That would have been amazing, man. 06 would have been interesting. The 06 World Cup final. 06 World Cup final would be interesting. Do you know what would have been insane? The 05 CL final. I was looking at the lineups again. Guys, actually, you already know who he was. I was looking at the lineup again. You know, Liverpool had a dude called Steve Finnan in that first half. Obviously, he had to come off. Then a guy called Steve Finnan at right back. I mean, doing a hangout for that would have been insane. Just, first of all, I'd have tried to judge the hangout, but if let's say I'd done the hangout, that would be one of the, because that is the greatest Champions League final of all time. So I think that would have been madness, man. All right, guys, man, it's time for me to take your cues, man. It's time for you to take your beautiful cues, man. Finnan, man. All right, man, send in those cues, man. Send in those cues, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Look, man, I told you, man. It's all about that content crack, man. It's all about that content crack addicts, bro. Yeah, no, I told you, like 360. 360 was my thing. 360 was a great console. Yes, had the red ring of death, but it was a great console. And yeah, because remember, football. When I began football hot, I only did audio because I did have a camera, and then I then moved from audio to my 360 webcam. So the quality was just garbage, man. You know, so it was a mess, man. It was a complete mess, man. Um, Shout out to Almaris Football Hot member. Shout out to Almaris Football Hot member, man. Um, Prime R9 or Almaris. I pray to the Lord. I pray to the Lord that you are trolling. I pray to the Lord that you are trolling. Almaris, I love you. I thank you for your support. But there's no way in hell that I am dignifying that with an answer. You must be off your flipping raw rockers, man. So no. Which Champions League winners is better, United 99 or United 08? That's a very good question. Because I think the better team. So that's even hard. I think on paper, 08. On paper, 08. The attacking prowess of Cristiano was crazy. Rio, I rate Rio as one of the best defenders I've ever seen. But I just think that United from back to front was very balanced. But I feel that United 99 team, because remember, see, you may have to say that's a 99 team because that team won a treble when the Premier League wasn't the piece of trash it is right now. When the Premier League was actually tough. So for that reason, man, they won a treble. I'm gonna have to say that the 99 team, although the 2008 team had guys, man, because you had Tevez, you had Cristiano, obviously Scholes was there, you had Rio, you had Vidic. But I'm going to say 99 because they won the treble, so I think they were much more complete, man. Where do you think Nagelsmann will end up in the next few seasons? That's an. I mean, you see, my thing is he's definitely not staying at Red Bull Leipzig. That's for damn sure. Um, because I think Dortmund would have been very interesting. I'd have loved him at Dortmund, but of course Marco Rose is going to be heading there. Um, don't rule out Chelsea somewhere down the line. Somewhere down the line, I think that you may see this dude at Chelsea. Um, so I think yeah, someone says so. You can look at Tottenham, you can look at Chelsea. Don't sleep on Barcelona. I think if let's say Koeman messes up and it doesn't happen for Koeman, I wouldn't be surprised if Barcelona just say, "Look, man, bro, come in. We'll give you all this cash, revitalize, rethink, rejig, and reimagine our side and reimagine our team." So that could definitely happen, man. So Barcelona could be the one, man. They could be one. Um, could you rank these players in terms of finishing? I'm going to ignore two names there because putting those two names there is offensive. So I'm gonna ignore Mounts and that name over there. So I'm gonna look at R9, Romario, Nistelrooy, Henry, Rivaldo. So in terms of just finishing, from the best finisher to the least best finisher. I don't want to take what. So from the best to least best. I'm gonna say. I mean, Nistelrooy was very good. I'm gonna say Nistelrooy, R9, Romario, Henry, Rivaldo. You know, so let's say I think that the guy who I can rely on the most, you give him a chance, and he'll say what's up. I think is Van Nistelrooy for sure. This is for sure, guys. Bear with me 1 second. Let me get a drink. Let me get a drink so I can, soften my throat. I'll be back. Need a drink. I'll be back. Need a drink. All right, back in a GP. I'm back in a GP, man. All right. Okay. So, what are we saying here? What are we saying here? Oh, you guys want to say something? HH, do you think you would be a great football manager in real life? I think I'd be all right. Great, that's a bit deep because which is what a lot of these guys have realized. That so people like Lampard, Neville, and so forth, football management has to be one of the hardest things to do. It ain't easy. It's truly ain't easy, because the thing about management is there is no handbook there's no handbook of guaranteed success. So there's nothing where you can be like, okay, if you do this, that, you will get those results. There are so many variables, and there are things that you can't get accounted for because you have to think about tactics, strategy, man motivation, relationships, in-game management. There are so many things that you have to think about that even if I feel I've got an amazing idea, like an amazing philosophy and so forth, it may be a case of where I can't communicate it with the players. I may have issues with specific players who I can't relay my theory to them. So I think that I'd be an amazing coach. I think I'd be a great coach, but anything else, So, who had more impacts on Premier League football, Zola or Eric Cantona? You see, impact is a wide-ranging word. Because you know how I feel about Zola. Zola is one of my favorite players of all time. It's the reason why I follow Chelsea. And some of the things that Zola did was amazing. But your question isn't who is better, it's who had the more impact. And you have to say Cantona. Because impact is wide-ranging. It's how did he affect football? How did he affect things beyond football? Because remember, people turned up their collar because of Cantona. He was on adverts. He was working with sponsors. He came with swag. He came with a whole kind of aesthetic that was like, wow, this guy is more than just a player. I remember this was back in the day where you had personalities. So this guy would actually literally bring his personality onto the pitch, which is just what made him even much more admired. It's like, oh wow, like this guy is this, that, and so forth. So that's just what made him even much more revered. So in terms of impact of what he did for the culture, for the league and so forth, easily Cantona. For sure Cantona, man. But Zola was the better player. Zola was the better player, man. That cannot be denied, man. Zola was the better player. I think it's over for Hazard at Real Madrid because the news just broke that he's injured again. You see, the Hazard thing is very sad, you know. And I think that, like, obviously, I always say, we can crack jokes and so forth, but if you're a football fan, you have to be sad because this is an amazing player. This is one of the most amazing players that we've seen. This is one of the most special talents that we've ever seen. And for him to totally break it like this, you can clown him. But we cannot deny that if we are football fans, we have to accept, or at least look at just how amazing he has been. Homeboy has been freaking. What he's done for Chelsea and what he did for Belgium is amazing. So how he's just completely just messed up his Real Madrid career, I have no idea. I have no freaking idea. It's one of the great mysteries of life. It's one of the great mysteries of life, and he's running out of time. He's running out of time, man. He's running out of time. All right. H, what do you think of Andre Silva? He has more goals this season than Haaland. So yeah, I think I remember. So he's the Portuguese guy. I think is it for Frankfurt, I believe. I think he's the Frankfurt striker. I think. He's decent. He's good. Quality player, but I'm not sure whether I will call him better than Haaland. So all because he's scored more goals this season than Haaland does not necessarily mean that he's now better than Haaland. For me, I think, what I always say that, for strikers, like Jovic starts padded. My thing is, okay, now when it comes to a big game, a massive pressurized game, can he score the winning goal? Can he score when the pressure is on? Can he score against the run of play? So especially if we're now going into the Euros, all right, so Andre Silva, you scored all these goals this season. Are you now going to be able to bring these goals and bring this kind of goal-scoring acumen for Portugal at the Euros? Because we're now going to the international tournaments, it's far harder. Defenses are a lot more meaner, and chances are few and far between. League games, especially if in the Bundesliga, the game is much more open. It can much more suit you. Still doesn't take away the fact that he scored those goals, but I need more of a sample size for me to now rate him highly. So as of right now, you could say he's like tier 3, upper tier 3. But I need more for that tier 2 status, man. From Mr. Mansman, thank you for the dub. Who is better? Jovic, Mariano, or Braithwaite? Dear Lord. We can take Mariano out of it. So for me, this is between Braithwaite and Jovic. Now, with this question, we need to decide, are we talking for or just who's the better player? Because 100% Jovic is the better player and is more talented and is just technically better. But keep it real. Has Jovic ever scored a extra time Copa del Rey quarterfinal winning goal against a team as good as Sevilla? I don't think he has. And let's keep it real. Braithwaite has done far better at Barcelona than Jovic and Marina has done for Real Madrid. So in a shorter space of time, Braithwaite has been much more impressive for Barcelona than Jovic and Mariana. Jovic has been a flop. Madrid fans will want to say, no, he's been a flop. It's not worked out. What people were promised he would be coming from Bundesliga. He's not lived up to that. So you cannot argue about the formation, this and that. He's had his chances, he's had his opportunities. And if you're a good enough striker, you don't need to rely on a formation or players. You will receive the ball, because especially when you play for Real Madrid, when you've got guys like Modric, Kroos, and Benzema around you, you will have opportunities provided for you. So the fact that you've not been able to put away those opportunities, that's on you. So for me, in terms of rights now, you've got to go with Braithwaite. Respect the breath. Respect the breath. Who is the best defender in world football right now? Got to look at Skriniar. Got to look at Kunde. Got to definitely look at Diaz. Varane is a bit up and down. I mean, you have to also look at Wan-Bissaka if just looking at pure defending. But for me, it's between Diaz and Skriniar, and the reason why I like them is that I like defenders to be very physical. I like defenders to have a mixture of physicality and intelligence. So reading the game can intercept, but also you're very tough, especially if you 1v1 battle. And I think what makes Skriniar and Diaz so good is that they are very tough as nails defenders. So it's very hard to get past them. So for me, I think it's between those two, man. So shout out to my guy Reef, my guy Reef. Southgate has a lot of options for England, but he says he will fumble the bag. You see, England are passion merchants, because I was watching ESPN FC, just some old episode of ESPN FC, basically of how of them recapping the World Cup. That run from England that they had was fraudulent. Tunisia, Panama, Belgium, who they lost to, Colombia without James Rodriguez, Sweden without Ibrahimovic, without Henrik Larsson, and so forth. And then the first real team you face, Croatia, and then you lose. Southgate is not a good manager. Southgate achieved nothing at that. And again, it's just the English media making something a lot bigger than it actually was. It wasn't. England were just fortuitous with the kind of teams they had and the run that they had. So like if England had topped their group, beaten Belgium, topped their group, they would have gotten beaten by either Japan or Belgium. So, but the thing is that it's a victim of your own success. So you have to give him the job and leave him in the job based on him taking England to the semis, where the last time they went to the semis was in 1990. But it is clearly evident that this guy is the antithesis to players like Foden, Sancho, even Mount as well, and all these guys these are footballers. These are very attack-minded players. And I think what you need is a coach who is very forward-thinking, progressive, and can allow these kids freedom to roam. But Southgate is just going to go for pragmatism. He's not going to bring much strategy, much more tactics. People forget, remember, this guy, his coaching resume is Middlesbrough. And what, Villa? Like, remember, Del Bosque is coming from Real Madrid. Yogi Löw obviously has worked alongside Klopp and so forth. Even the guy that they had, Ericsson, he had come from Lazio and so forth. So it's not great, man. It's not great. England have a great team, great squad, but the manager is just trash, man. The manager is trash. All right. What is it? That they did. James, they did. Better manager, Arteta or Gollum? I might lean towards Arteta. I think Ole is one of those guys who he will always. Ole isn't the right man for Man United, and he's not a great manager. It's just that he will somehow get wins that don't make any sense. Like, as I said again, anybody that looks at the table, you'll say to yourself, how are Man United second? It doesn't make any sense. It makes no sense how Man United are second because these are guys who they've not really impressed that much. And even the games they've won, it's been odd how they've won the games. Arteta integrates, but if we're just comparing between both of them, when I look at Arsenal, I can see much more of a clear, defined strategy, as well as I can see changes that he makes that has an effect on the game. Not always, but I can see good, effective changes that he makes. I think for Ole, basically, the proof is in the pudding. Look at how many 0-0 draws that his team has been involved in. What does that tell you? That tells you that he's obviously fearful, that he's not a guy that is proactive. He's not a guy that is actually trying to strategically think. It's easier to play for a 0-0 draw than tactically try to figure out a way of getting the 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, 4-0. Like, let me try and create a way, make changes for my team to win. So I'm going to have to give the dub to your boy Arteta. From Leonard Ochebirima, thank you for the dub. Do you think, footballing wise, Cristiano is top 10 of all time? No. Purely on football, no. If it's about greatness and so forth, he's top 3. Purely about football, there are 10 football players that are better football players than Cristiano. Cristiano is not a top 10 footballing talent of all time. No way. Whether you like it or not, man, whether you want to, those are just the facts. Okay. Need escorts, man. It's a pandemic. And do vids on reactions on skills. Yeah. I'll be bringing back the reaction vids soon. I just need to find the time. But don't worry, I will bring back those reaction vids. Don't worry, bro. I'll be bringing those back. What is more physical, basketball or football? I have played both, and it depends. Because I was obviously on my basketball team, and of course I played football all throughout school. If you're a striker in football, basketball is more tasking. If you're a striker, maybe even a defender, depending on the game, maybe if you're a defender, I'll say basketball is more tasking because basketball, up and down, you don't rest. It is constant. So basketball is you're constantly going up and down. Even, okay, you can sub off and sub on, but when you're actually actively playing in basketball, remember it's 5-on-5, smaller playing area, and you're constantly having to move all the time. Now, you see, my position in football was central midfield. And obviously this was back in the 90s and early 2000s where, number 10s weren't really like a thing. So it was all about 4-4-2, 4-4-2, and so forth that we used to play in school. Central midfield is extremely tasking. Because in central midfield, you constantly are moving, you constantly are thinking, and you see, I'm not saying basketball is an easy sport, but it is easier than for football because we use our hands all the time. So it's a lot easier just to gain control of the ball and move it. The intelligence, the skill, the technicality required of controlling a ball with your foot, moving it around, passing it, running with it, going past two tight guys, looking for a pass, and so forth. There is so much complexity in doing that. When you're doing that in the middle of midfield, where you don't have that so much time on the ball, and there are guys always surrounding you, it makes it even much more difficult. So for me, if it's central midfield and it's for football, that for me is more tasking than basketball. So it depends on the position that you play. So, where are we then? Where are we then? Where are we then? When will Bruno Fernandes win the Ballon d'Or? Um, I mean, now I never wanna. I don't wanna sound rude. I don't want to sound insulting and so forth. Bruno Fernandes is never winning a Ballon d'Or. It's never happened. I think he can become a very good player, a very effective player, and I look forward to seeing him and what he does this summer for Portugal. But unless you're trolling, then that's fine. But if you honestly believe that Bruno Fernandes can win a Ballon d'Or, I think you're madness. I think you're mad because remember we are living in a world where Fati is coming through, Felix is coming through, Mbappe is coming through, and so forth. And these are guys, Haaland as well. These are guys who could win multiple Ballon d'Ors. Like Bruno Fernandes will never have a year where he's exceptional. He's exceptional enough to finish like top three. That's not going to happen. And also, what you have to realize is that to even be considered, you have to be in the Champions League and ball in the Champions League. And what is the likelihood of that happening with Homeboy? Not that likely, bro. Not that likely. I'm coming. Let's just check my massage real quick. Bear with me. I'll have a bit of. Okay, shit. Okay. Just bear with me. All right. From Leonard Ochebiri, who says, who do you think are the 10 guys who are better? All right. So this is based purely in football. So the 10 guys who I think are better than Cristiano footballing wise. So, we can take a pick, man. So this will be too easy. So Ronaldo, obviously R9, Ronaldinho, Romario, Rivaldo. I think I said Ronaldinho. What's it called? Dennis Bergkamp. Messi, obviously. Maradona, obviously. Del Piero. Baggio. Pirlo. Iniesta. Who else are we saying, man? Who else are we saying? Scholes. I just said Riquelme. So it's just Figo. Yeah. So I really mean football guys. So these are better footballers than Cristiano. I always say about Cristiano is that he is, when he was at Man United, he was a great attacking weapon. Now, if he had continued on that trajectory, then maybe it would be different. But the bulk of his career has been about being a goal scorer and mainly goal scoring. So whenever we talk about Cristiano, let's have a goal scoring conversation, which I think he wins. Like you put him against most guys, whether it's Gedmola, Messi, or so forth, or Pele, he might come out on top. When we're having a footballing conversation, the guy falls short. Like he is, as a footballer, man, he isn't top 10, top 15, top 20, man. So it is just how it is, man. Oh yeah, Robin Okocha for sure. Yeah. Robin Okocha for sure. Yeah. Zidane. There's too many names I forgot. It's freaking Zidane. I forgot about Zidane. Too many, man. Lamb. I don't even put Lamb in there, man. Who had a better career, Paul Scholes or Modric? Paul Scholes or Modric? Modric. I could have been. Come on, bro. That can't be a real question, man. Um, Scholes has loads of Premier League titles. Sure. Scholes has two Champions Leagues. He's got a treble. You know what? Let's pause. Let's pause. Because I think that that in itself is very impressive. Um, for what he has, man. Like if you think about what he has, like so because Modric never won a treble. Let's keep things a stack. Modric never won a treble. So, but my thing is that okay, treble, cool, two Champions Leagues. So let's look at Modric. Modric can gives you three Champions Leagues, three in a row, a La Liga as well. Um, what's also say so he gives you a La Liga as well. He also gives you a World Cup final appearance, and he also gives you, even if I think Hazard was the best player, he also gives you the World Cup Best Player award. So why? So the reason why Modric surpasses him is purely for that reason. The very fact that you cannot say that at any point you cannot say that Scholes didn't achieve anything internationally. The very fact that Modric was able to do what he did in 2018, guiding Croatia to a World Cup final, a country of 4 million people, for me, it surpasses him. So Modric has the international achievement and he has the club achievement. So, what's the boom, man? Oh, four. Also, he was there in 2014. All right. I thought he joined after 2014. I thought he joined after 2014. Um, Prediction for Bayern's AK Walker. You see, this is what I just hope for. I just hope for a good game. That's all I hope for. I hope and I pray for a good game. Because it makes the Bundesliga look real bad if the supposed closest rivals get pimp slapped and sodomized. It makes it look bad because you have to at least have some sort of a competitive thing between both of those guys there, man. So stuff is wild, man. Stuff is wild, man. So for me, Bayern are gonna win. They're gonna win. But I think if Dortmund managed to get, all I ask is that okay, if Dortmund are to lose, don't get 5-0 or 4-0. That's my fear. My fear is, this is, first of all, this game shouldn't be called a Classico, but my fear is okay, this game will get hyped up and sober, but but this, that, and everything, and they're just going to get swiped. That is my major fear, man. Thanks for the dub, Leonard or Chibiri. Thanks for the dub. Who's the better player, Javi or Modric? Modric. Javi, I think, is, you could argue, is the better like central midfielder in terms of ball retention, usage of the ball. Modric has a wider range of passing. Modric has better balance. Modric has better dribbling. Modric can walk in better spaces. Modric is much more dynamic. So he's much more effective in whatever areas of the pitch. How good was Javi if he now got into the final third? In that central midfield area, Javi was incredible. But how good was Javi in that final third? Modric was amazing in the center of the field. Modric can also tackle as well, but Modric was also excellent in that final third. So for me, as a footballer, Modric was a better footballer than Javi. Javi was just excellent in that central midfield position, specifically in controlling the game, man. Why do you think Uncle Mo was not able to win a UCL with Real Madrid? 2012 was it. So if you look at the to 2011, that semi with Barca, something was going up, man. Something was up with that semi. Um, 2012 was that was supposed to be his chance. That was supposed to be that was supposed to be it. But it's penalties. What can you say? Penalties is just the luck of everything, man. Like what can you say? But with 100%, it was supposed to be this. Okay, so this is a why. I think it's down to bad luck. It's not Mourinho didn't do anything wrong, you know, because let's compare it to Pep Guardiola. You see, when you lose on penalties, what can you say? So 2011 is okay. It is what it is. 2012 it was penalties, and I think if you would have asked most guys that, oh yeah, a penalty shootout is happening, and you've got Kaka there. Which is why I said, no, Kaka, and I don't really know how great this whole Kaka guy is, man. And you have Kaka going there, man. Many people say, oh yeah, of course Kaka will score. It's freaking Kaka, man. But Kaka was one of the guys that's missed. So if you compare it to Pep, so in Pep's 3 seasons with Bayern Munich, they lost in regulation time. So they never lost on penalty. So when you lose in regulation, then it's pretty much a case of look, you screwed up. You screwed up. So for Uncle Mo, that 2012 thing, because again, it was a very good team. I remember like peak Ozil at his best was under Mourinho. That was when Ozil was out and out the best number. It's funny, guys, if you think about it. Snyder, best number 10 in the world. Who did he work under? Mourinho. Ozil, best number 10 in the world. Who did he work under? Mourinho. And what's happening right now? Where we're living in a world where there are hardly any number 10s. Give Mourinho a number 10, a finisher, he'll give you a CL. So for me, my thing, LB, is that it was just unlucky. Nothing wrong that he did, no fault of his own. When there's a penalty shootout, there is nothing a manager can do. He'll say, these are my best 5 penalty takers. Who is ready to take them? Once you go there, it's now down to you. Like, we have practiced penalties on and on and on again. And I think when you're dealing with a Real, Bayern, and so forth, you know how to score a penalty. Most of those guys know how to score a penalty. So it's about, can you score it when your team needs you the most? So, oh my god, coming to America, man. Let's relax that, man. Which stadium would you like to visit in the future? Look, there are many that I would love to visit, man. For me, the first stadium that I want to visit 100% is the San Siro. The San Siro is amazing. Amazing. Like one of the, for me, the San Siro for me represents football. Because I think that's, like a stadium should feel like a coliseum. It should feel like an arena. Like when you watch the film Gladiator, are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is that not why you're here? My name is Maximus Jonas Remus, leader of Felix Legions, father of a murdered son, husband of a murdered wife. I will get my vengeance. It is life or the next. So having those big matches in so San Siro for sure, the Camp Nou. I'd love to see the Maracanã. I'd love to see the Maracana. And also, Old Trafford would be cool. And you know what is crazy? I think it just shows you how sort of lucky I should be because, like, for instance, there's so basically, like, I used to live near Emirates Stadium. Literally, it was walking distance from where I lived. And every time I go there, I would always see tourists all around there taking pictures, taking pictures. I would say, hey, why are you taking pictures there? Because I just take it for granted that this stadium is down the road from where I live. So I'm like, yeah, I can just go to the Emirates anytime. But there's some people who massive Arsenal fans, and they're coming to England to visit. So for them, it's an amazing thing to really come there, view it, take pictures, and really like have this kind of like an amazing thing to go back to. And now I live near Stamford Bridge, you know. So it's not quite walking distance, but it's very close to where I live. So like I'm like I would be jealous of people who live near Camp Nou or people who live near the San Siro and so it's like, man, you live near this amazing stadium. For them, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I for me like seeing Stamford Bridge is not a big thing because it's so close to where I am, you know. So it's crazy, but yeah, for me, I'd love to see the Maracana, San Siro, Maracana, Camp Nou. That Wanda Stadium looks freaking crazy. Just that it doesn't have the same kind of history, but just in terms of architecture, I'd like to see the Wanda Metropolitano. I like the Seville Stadium. You see, because I remember I went to Paris for holiday, you know, and I messed up because I really, really should have gone to the Parc de France there because I saw loads of like PSG fans around, man. But like, yeah, I didn't really see. I didn't really get the chance to go to the Parc de France, man. Oh yeah, Allianz as well. See, I would have loved to visit the Dele Alpi, man. So that this was Juventus's old stadium. I would have loved that. I'd love to see that, man. Um, do you think Barcelona's number 10 jersey weighs heavier than Man United's number 7? Um, yes, I think it does, especially now. Um, you see, my thing about it is that I don't know who is going to. I don't know whether they will, because they may. I will not be surprised if they retire the number 10 jersey. I wouldn't be surprised. Like now, Messi may be like, "Hey, no, 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 fine," but it's just that it's been so weird how things have unfolded at Barcelona. But I will not be surprised if they retire it. But if they don't retire the number 10 jersey, who the my thing is who would even want to wear that number 10 jersey apart from Braithwaite? But who would actually want to wear that number 10 jersey after Messi leaves? Because there is no player who will come close to being anywhere near what Messi has achieved for Barcelona, you know. And the issue is you maybe need some time to pass, but that number 10 jersey for Barcelona is just going to signify the most consistent player ever. So I think if Barcelona are smart, retire the jersey. Because if you don't, I don't think any player would even want that. Because any player that has that, they will just that weight of Messi will be too much. Because number 7, okay, you've had Cantona, you've had Bex, you've had Cristiano, so you had some guys, man. But all those guys combined don't even come close to what Messi has achieved or what he's given to Barcelona or what that number 10 Barca jersey means. Because I mean, look, you have to argue that might be that just might. I mean, I'll have to check, but that might be one of the best selling jerseys in football. The Barcelona, the Barcelona number 10 jersey, man. So, oh, this dude said Sanchez, man. Bro, give me a break. Best footballer from the 2000s. The 2000s, man. So I think you're saying from 2000 to 2010. So from 2000 to 2010. Best footballer. So putting achievements to one side, you're just saying the best footballer. It's Dino. It's Ronaldinho. 100%. Um, I don't think you can. I don't think anyone comes close. You know, it is 100% Ronaldinho, man. But let me just send this message, man. Um, Because I mean, so 2000 you've got so you have Kaka, you have Henri. Um, you see, for me, Del Piero was more 90s. See, Del Piero had his injury, I think, coming into the 2000s because remember, Del Piero pre-injury was a baller. Afterwards, it wasn't the same. Dennis Beckham, I think, was at his best and most lethal in the 90s. So 2000s is Henri. You've got Henri, you've got Kaka. For me, I think Pirlo was stronger in the next decade. He was good, but I think he played his best football. He was stronger in the next decade. I think Pirlo got better with age. So Kaka, Henri, Zidane, of course, Zidane for sure. So Zidane, Dino. Um, you could say Rivaldo as well. Rivaldo, yes, you could say Rivaldo, but for me, yeah, Dino. You know. Um, no one, I mean, I don't think you can come close to that thingy, man. Um, if Zola won a Premier League or a Champions League with Chelsea, do you think he would have arguably been Chelsea's best player of all time, top three? Oh, if Zola won a Premier League, 100% he would be top three. If he won either of those, he'd be top three. If he'd won a Champions League and he was the main player, I would argue he would be the best. Because in terms of just talent, the most talented player and the best footballer Chelsea have ever had is between Zola and Hazard. And I would argue Zola produced more and gave more than Hazard did. Because I believe that Zola is the most talented and the best football player that Chelsea had. So if Zola led Chelsea to a CL, I mean, we're eating good. And I think he'd probably 100% be the best man. So let's see, man. When will Arsenal win a CL? Long time, bro. Long time. As I said again, like, it's funny how people say, oh, like, okay, which is harder, a league or a Champions League? There is a far greater likelihood of Arsenal winning the league than winning the Champions League. Like, Arsenal's best chance of winning the Champions League wasn't 06. It wasn't 06. The best chance of winning the Champions League was that invincible season. That was a season. Remember, that was a season that Real Madrid, Barcelona, AC Milan all went out early. They all went out early. Because I think, so if Arsenal had beaten Chelsea, then I think they would have then faced, I think, Monaco. Then all they had to do was beat Monaco and then beat FC Porto. So, because people say, oh, 06, no, 06 was not their best. It was amazing they got there in 06, but you had to go through that Barcelona side, But their best chance was, 03-04. You had the team, you had the players, you had the personnel, and they messed up. So winning a Champions League is not hard, like, you need a team a manager and you need an exceptional player or an exceptional group of players. The only time a team has won the Champions League without having exceptional players was FC Porto. That was the only time that has happened. Because that was just a weird, freakish year that the big teams just went through. But if you look at almost every Champions League winner, they've had exceptional players amongst their ranks. So Arsenal can't even be in the conversation if you don't have truly exceptional players in your team. So it's going to be a very long time. A very long time until they're able to say what's up in the CL, man. Stuff ain't easy, bro. Thank you for the dub. Tyron Lorenzo Valente, thank you for the dub. Thank you for the dub. Thank you for the dub. Retiring the number 10 is putting a ceiling in the next future star and saying that he will never achieve what Messi has done with FC Barcelona. Maradona came and gone, and so will Messi. You make a great point. You make a really, really good point, and I get what you're saying. But you have to understand this. Internationals aside, World Cup aside, Copa America. In my view, and I think this is a fact, but I'll just say in my view, you are dealing with the most consistent performing player in the history of the game. We will never see a Messi in a lifetime. And what do I mean by that? I think we'll see players as good or better in a different sense. 100% in a different sense. Oh, players come and go. We will never see a player as consistent, played to as consistent a level as Messi. So, for instance, for over a decade, you've been amongst the best players in the world. I don't think in a lifetime we'll ever see that. That is something that Messi has that is special. You will have amazing players. Barca will get amazing, superb players. Giving them that number 10 jersey. Now, from the angle, I can maybe say, all right, if you want to be fair here, and let's say you get like a number 10, or for instance, let's say you give Ansu Fati the number 10 jersey. It's now down to the fans to now say, this ain't Messi. We're not expecting Messi here. Fati, you be you. But the problem is, you wear a number 10 jersey, you can't forgo Messi and what he's done and what he did for like a decade. Yeah, you can't forgo that. So, because retiring the number 10 isn't sort of putting a ceiling, because they do it in basketball. Retiring a number 10 is, you've been so incredible and you've given so much to this institution. This is our way of saying thank you. They've done such an amazing thing that this shirt that you wore, we're going to now retire it to sort of fully crystallize and encapsulate just what you mean for the club. What would I do? I'm with you. As much as you can say that, nobody can ever do what Messi did in terms of consistency, I would say, who wants this number 10? You make it you. You're never going to be as consistent as Messi, but maybe you'll do things that Messi didn't do. Maybe you will have moments that Messi didn't have. And maybe you'll be able to, for instance, like as amazing as Messi has been, Messi never did what Rivaldo did against Valencia on that final day. That is the best hat-trick I've ever seen in my life. Okay? Just for that one moment, that's the most amazing thing I've seen. Some of the goals that Ronaldo scored, like one goal that Ronaldo scored where like he passed the ball and he really ran through two defenders, was insane. So I think it's about, because what I'm always for is you create your own future, you create your own legacy and dynasty. So let's say Ansu Fati is the next dude. He may not be, but let's say Ansu Fati is the next dude and he's like, all right, he's the next guy and he wants the number 10 jersey. Then it's up to the managers and the fans to be like, don't even mention Messi's name. Don't compare him to Messi. Don't even call him the new Messi. He is the Ansu Fati. And he is now going to create and do his thing. So I think it's about accepting that, no, there will never be another Messi doing what he did in terms of consistency. but there can be guys who can give Barcelona some new, interesting, different memories. I'm all about let's move things forward, let's keep things new. Never hang on to the old, never hang on to the past. You must always move forward and always look into the future. So that's my take, man. So from Tyrone, Lorenzo Valencia again, thank you for the dub, thank you for the dub. It will take a long time, but another Messi will come. That's being the nature of football. But again, as I said again, I just believe we will never see a player who will consistently perform at such a high level as Messi for a decade. I don't think we'll ever see that. I think that is just unique. We will see a player as good as Messi, probably even better, 100%. It will happen, and he may do things that Messi can't do. So maybe in 6, 7, 8 years time, we will have a player who is two-footed, who is stronger, who is faster, much more ferocious, and does more audacious things. Because see, Messi was amazing, but Messi didn't do what Ronaldinho did. The kinds of things that Ronaldinho did, I've never seen a football player do in all of my time of watching football. So as consistent, for instance, if Ronaldinho came after Messi, let's say Ronaldinho came after Messi, and he took the number 10 jersey, boom, he only gave you like 2-3 years. So he didn't give you like the 10 years that Messi gave you. But for those 2-3 years, it's like we've never seen a player give us those 2-3 years before. Like to this day, there are still people that are like, man, do you remember what Dino did for that period in time? Do you remember how good Dino was for that period in time? So it's about just creating new memories all the way. All about creating new memories, man. Do you think PSG regrets selling Tuchel? Well, we have wait to see. If these dudes screw up on Wednesday, then I think they will. They'll screw up on Wednesday. For me, as of right now, no. Because for PSG, that the season isn't ended yet. Now, like if the season ends and they don't win Ligue 1, and like let's say Lille or Lyon win Ligue 1, and they win Ligue 1, and then they don't win the Champions League, then they'll be like, well, at least this guy got us a freaking trophy and so forth. But my thing is that it's not about Ligue 1, man. It's about the Champions League. So now what he can do. And I think it's one of those things where when you read into how he was sort of sacked, I just think that he came at loggerheads with Leonardo. So the thing of like, there's not a real regret and so forth. Is like, he just fell out with those in the higher up positions, man. So, this is just hypothetical. But if Mola wins another CL this season and wins the Euros with Germany, Azemi Yogilov calls him back to the national team, which is still debatable, and he balls in the big games, where do we rank him? Woo! He's racking up, man. He's racking up those things, man. But it's like, you see, for me, that's why, for instance, like you can't just look at titles. Like look at Javi, Iniesta, and Mandzukic. These guys have 2 trebles, 2 Euros, and a World Cup. That's insane. But I think for Muller, so Muller has what, like a World Cup, 2 trebles. Yeah, he was in 2013 because he scored in the first half. So yeah, he's got 2 trebles. He's got a World Cup, but he's just missing a Euros. My thing is that it's doubtful that he'll get picked for the Euros. I don't think he will. I think there are a lot of other younger German guys coming through. But let's say if he does get picked, and he does ball out to win the Euros and he wins the Champions League, I think we'll then have to just look at how amazing he's been in terms of achievements. I think not saying, oh, he's this amazing, superb player. I think that's just perhaps being a little bit deep. a little bit deep, just sort of now overestimating not just how good or how amazing of a player he is. I just think you have to just respect how effective he is and just how important he's been with regards to those achievements, man. Um, all right, what's this? Um, this guy's just, all right. Is England a dark horse for the Euros? I think they can get to the final. We talked about this earlier on. They have the players to get to the final. Um, there are two truly tough squads out there. It's France and Portugal. I think Belgium missed their boat in 2018, and you could argue 2016. I think 2016 Belgium really messed up. I think Belgium should have done better in 2016, and losing to Wales, they really flopped. Um, Netherlands don't have the players nor the manager. Italy are just Italy are another dark horse. Um, and Germany as well. Most of the old guard and the elite guys like Lamb, Schweinsteiger, Closer, um, in there anymore. Um, so England can get to the final because they have the talent, but the issue is Southgate. Because if you're an England manager or so forth, and you see the players there, you have to play a formation where it allows for fluidity and freedom, and it can't be rigid, and you have to allow guys to truly express themselves, and you have to try and allow Sancho, Grealish, Rashford, Sterling, Kane, these guys to really combine and really make it difficult for teams to play against them in terms of, okay, there is not a set formation, and there is a freedom to which they move in and out of specific positions. Because if you get it right with the right coach, England can cause a lot of damage because there's a lot of firepower in that team if utilized well. But Southgate is not a great manager. Southgate defrauded his way into a World Cup semi, and is living off that fraudulent World Cup semi that he took England to, and based on the easy teams that they faced on their route there. So yeah, man. With Southgate, I don't have much hope, man. Um, with the amount of talent coming from the USA, do you think this is the golden generation, and how far can they go in the World Cup? This might definitely is the best bunch that America has had. Giorena, Weston McKennie, Serginho Dest, um, Pulisic. This is the best group they've had. Like all through the years, America have never had. All through the years, I could not name you four quality players that America had. I couldn't do it, you know. So in the days of Clint Dempsey and Landon Donovan, those guys were mid, total mid. Pulisic, although he's gone off the ball, he is still way more talented than any player that they've had. Giorena looks like a really good player, a really good player. Dest looks really good, and he's just getting better and better for Barcelona. Weston Kenny, people said, man, why are you even buying this dude? Now they're now looking to now sign him on a permanent, just seeing how well he's now done. So the key thing is you've got a Weston McKennie at Juventus, you've got a Dest at Barcelona, you've got a Pulisic at Chelsea, you've got a Girona at Dortmund. What you have are guys who are starting at major clubs. Back then for America, where was Landon Donovan? MLS. When did I left MLS? Where did he go to? Everton. Where was Clint Dempsey? Fulham. So the issue was, America, you have no business even thinking of getting to a World Cup semi when none of your players are playing for top teams. But the difference now is that you now have players playing for top teams, which means that they will be able to gain the experience of top level football, which is what you need. So when it's now coming to the American game, and once they're in those bigger games, they're now battle tested against the very, very best in the world, man. Um, but for me, I still feel that the furthest they can go is quarters max. I don't think they can go further than the quarters. That that is their ceiling. Semis is where you've got to be really elite. I think if they get to a quarters, they'll face just a team that's far too good. I think like I would say, in these World Cups or these tournaments, second round, okay, that's when things really go. Quarterfinals is when, all right, we're now really separating the elites from the rest of the head. So the guys that's really not. So once you now get to the final four, boom. So if you're fortunate to reach a quarterfinal, you're getting touched. You know, unless you're England, because England were just in a very fortunate position that the way things just. This is the thing for England. England should have faced Germany. If Germany were Germany, like proper, England should have faced Germany, and that's where they go out. So if Germany were proper Germany, Germany would have advanced from that group. They would have beaten Switzerland, and when England faced them, Germany would have just taken care of Germany. Germany would have taken care of England as they always do. But because Germany screwed up and messed up and everything, it's like, oh wow, it got sweetie because it was not part of the plan for Germany to not make it through the freaking groups. So yeah, man, it is a golden generation. It is good, but they're not good enough to reach a World Cup semi. Um, if Klopp wins the CL with Nat Phillips and Kabak, does he reach Horseman status? Look, man, this is what I always said, man. The CL isn't out of reach with regards to Liverpool. It's not. As in, I've seen this story play out a million times before where, oh my gosh, horrible and totally useless. Basically, it's terrible and totally useless in the league, Champions League, Europe. Like, oh wow, we can say what's up. Like Real Madrid were not doing very well in the league. Obviously, not as bad as Liverpool. But boom, in 2016, 2018, they didn't win the league, but they won the CL. If he does race with Nat Phillips and Kabak, that's an element of dud. Although you still have that amazing front three, but it would be an element of dud. But my thing about this is that it's one of those things of where even if they have those two, if you manage things well and you're tactical, you can still win. You can have an average defense. Not the brick defense, you can have an average defense, but if you're clever and strategic, you can still win. So, all right, what else are you guys saying, man? Oba Martins, man. So guys, so look, man, big weekend, man. So you got Bayern against Dortmund. And also, see, here's my thing again. It's like, should we be hyping up the Manchester derby? Let's be realistic now, and see, this is what people should stop doing. I think people should start being realistic. I know the history of the clubs and it's Manchester and so forth, but we shouldn't be hyping up the Manchester derby because Man United have shown that these guys can't be taken seriously. City are embarrassing the Premier League. So you can't call it a big hence because so the Madrid derby is at 3:15 GMT and the Manchester derby will be at 4:30. So it's going to bleed into things. But same mind, I ain't watching the Manchester derby. Like, why am I watching that? So I'm watching a game where one team is on a 21 game winning run and another team have had about 5, 6, 7, 8 nil draws. Why the hell am I watching that? Tell me. I mean, I'll watch the highlights. I'll see the recap, but I'm going to be watching the Madrid derby, which you expect is going to be a far more interesting, closer, interesting game where Madrid derby can go either way. It can go either way. But for the Manchester, it's like it's the same thing with like Bayern and Dortmund. You can't promote that as their classicer. I know you want to on servers to get people to watch, but you can't. Like Bayern Munich, the way they've beaten those guys so badly, you can't. The way Man City have been playing this season, they're in a whole different level from what these guys are doing, man. Whole different level, bro. So, oh yeah, I think Juve Lazio. When is that? So, so it's well now it's tonight. It's tonight. Um, yeah, United. I see. This thing about United is that I can understand the fans because I think it's, see I almost feel sorry for United fans, man, because when they were like sort of winning games and they were sort of coming close to Man City, guys like United is back, Man United is back, and so forth, and you were like, you realize that this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You realize that there is no Scholes, there is no Andy Cole, there is no Cristiano, there's no Tevez. Like my thing is, did you really believe that you could win the Premier League? You know, and it's because people, especially football fans, I think people in general, but football fans, they're very sentimental. It's like with Chelsea, Lampard, man, he's gonna lead us to glory and so forth because he played for Chelsea. It's like, oh, Solskjaer, because Solskjaer, he understands the club. You see, is this what I need to explain to people and so forth? And this is where things get real. Countries, that's real. Clubs, it's not real. Man United in 2008 is completely different to Man United right now. There is no club ethos, club ethic, a club culture. No. Like new players, new manager, new coach. Like what Mourinho was doing with Man United was totally different from what Fergie was doing. What Fergie was doing was totally different from what Van Gaal was doing. And teams completely changed their shape and so forth. Like what Chelsea were under Gullit and Vialli, totally different from what Mourinho was doing. So clubs is just an institution that totally changes from time to time based on the manager, the players, and so forth. What doesn't change are countries. Germany will always have a particular. Germans will always have a particular way of how they interpret for football. Italians will always have a particular way of how they interpret football. Brazilians, Argentines, Nigerians, so forth. These cultures and so forth, based on how they culture and how they live, they'll always have a way of interpreting for football. But if you have a club, in one season, you have, let's say, 5 Argentines, 2 Brazilians, and 3 or 4 English people, they will play a certain way. 10 years later, you have 5 English, 3 French, and a few Belgian. They're going to play a particular way that is totally different from how those Brazilians and Argentines play. But how Brazil played in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and now is pretty much the same because of just how Brazilians view the game or how Italians view the game, So, um, bro, it's that has to be one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen. That is one of the dumbest comments I've ever heard. He understands the club. Like what? What does that bull crap mean? That is the biggest crap I've ever seen, man. Um, what happened to Martial? A lot of players are falling off a cliff. Um, it's like a mentality thing. I think it's just something that a player has to sort of look inward to himself and be like, you know what, um, I need to somehow um, figure this out by looking inward, you know, because Marshall is an amazing, he's an amazing player, and he's got an amazing talent. So when you have that amazing talent, you can play better, you can do better. So it's psychological. It's not about your ability. Your ability is there, but football and sports in general is the marriage between your physical and your mental. So your marriage between your talents and your mental application. It's just not enough for you to have the talents. You have to know how to, all right, I need to now apply it here. And that's where your own individual and your own brain things comes through. Because talent is intuition. It's instinct. Like football players, they play through instincts. Most of the time, they don't really have to think about what they do. It just happens. But for you to get there and for you to make the right calls and the right decisions and the right moves when you're playing, you need to know how to be applying yourself and know how to approach a game on a psychological level. So know how, okay, well, these things I normally do don't work, so I've got to sort of change my tact a bit and change my approach. So really, the best players who keep on playing amazing, they're able to sort of read the game and tweak to always try and be effective in the game. Greatest club achievements of all time. You have to take your pick. Real Madrid's 3 CLs is one. Leicester City. Winning that Premier League, But if I had to pick one, if I had to pick one, because it has to be Real Madrid's repeat, because nobody has done it before. Several sides have won the treble. There are a few sides who've gotten 100 points. The only other one you can think of is Arsenal. Other sides have done it, but people say, well, Arsenal did it in a much tougher league that was far more competitive than when Juve did it in Serie, where Juve there's hardly any competition. But when Arsenal did it, it was very competitive. It was very hard. Hence why they drew all those games, because it's very hard to come off and not lose back in those days. But I think when you just take things into account, the Champions League is the elite competition. It is the hardest competition. It's the toughest competition. It's a competition with the best teams. And we look at the teams that Real Madrid faced and the teams that they had to beat. That is the greatest club achievement of all time. So it begs the question. When I talk about great sides, people talk about, that's Barcelona side of 2011, of 2009. People talk about the AC Milan side. But do you have to just really give more respect to Real Madrid? Because they won the toughest competition in club football 3 times in a row. You can't ignore that stat, bro. So, or what did this good do down our rights, man? Natsa, thank you for the dub. Tomorrow I'll show how you jinx Liverpool and Klopp. In what sense? So are you going to show this to me on the Hangout or something? How did I jinx Liverpool and Klopp? I told you I don't jinx anybody. I don't believe in the jinx. The jinx is just a figment of your imagination, man. Okay, the jinx is just a figment of your imaginaciones. Okay, it ain't real, bro. So I don't jinx anyone, man. Liverpool have jinxed themselves, man. They've jinxed themselves. So guys, 5 more minutes, man. 5 more minutes. Sync minutes, man. 5 more minutes, guys. 5 more minutes, man. Get me your best questions, man. You have 5 minutes to send your best possible questions so I can go in rest up, suit up, and get myself ready, ready, ready. You know, get myself ready, get myself pumped up, get myself psychologically ready for this weekend of football, man. You know, Juve, Lazio, the Bayern against Dortmund, Manchester Derby, and of course, the Madrid derby. Um, uh, okay, I think I'll pass, bro. Thank you for that. Oh, that's an interesting one. Name Ballon d'Or winners from 2018 to 2020 if there was no Messi or Ronaldo. Wow. So '08, what's popping up in '08? So '08, who won? So '08 was won by Man United, wasn't it? Who would win in '08? Yeah, I mean, '08 is a difficult one. I mean, '09, you could argue Iniesta or Xavi in '09. I mean, '08, maybe you say, do you say Scholes? Do you put Scholes up in there? You know, because you always have to look at the champs winner. Oh, I've no '08, because remember the Euros. So, but then yeah, because remember this is so remember this is so no actually no '08 would be no '08 was oh no okay because Kaka won it in '07, but he won the Champions League in '07. So yeah, I think okay '09 you might say Iniesta, you know 2010 Schneider obviously, 2011 I'd probably give that to Javi, man. Probably give that to Javi, especially for what he did in RCL final. Probably give that to Javi. 2012, I'll give it to Drogba. Yes, I'll give it to Drogba. 2012, I'll give it to Drogba. 2013, I give that to obviously that was Ribery, obviously, who was completely robbed by that fraudulent fraud. 2014, Neuer. It either goes to Neuer or Lamb, but I'll probably give it to Neuer. 2015, you could argue Neymar. You can make an argument for Neymar. Neymar on the canal, but you can make an argument for Neymar. 2016, I'll give it to Ede. Yeah, man, I'll give it to Eder. Either I'll give it to Eder or I'll give it to Bale. I'll either give it to Eder or I'll give it to Bale. 2017, 2017, I'll probably give it to Modric. I'll probably give it to either Modric or Ramos. Between those two, then Modric or Ramos. 2018, I'd give it to Mbappe. Yeah, I'd give it to Mbappe. I'd give it to Mbappe 2018. 2019, so I think 2019 is the one that Modric won, and 2020 would have been won by Lewandowski. Yeah. I told you, man, all that whole thing. Most of those guys, they oh, sorry, 2018 Mo Salah. 2018, I forgot more 2018 Mo Salah. Oh yeah, 2018 Mo Salah. 2019, yeah, Van Dijk. 2019 Van Dijk. 2019 Van Dijk. I think that's fair, man. All right, man. Any other interesting? Guys, it's been swell. It's been lovely. I will see you guys on the other side. Stay swell. Stay real. Remember, guys, Saturday, lineup preview of the Bayern Dortmund game. Lineup preview. Join your boy for that. And then, of course, a live post-match analysis of the game. And I will be on Twitch. Join me on Twitch as I watch the game live on Twitch. Bayern against Dortmund. And then Saturday hangouts. You already know what that's. Sunday, lineup preview before the Madrid derby. I'll be on Twitch watching the Madrid derby with me on Twitch. And, of course, the live match review of that. And then afterwards, we shall go on and do our Sunday hangout match. Sunday CL hangout match going down, my guys. Peace out. Stay true, stay real, stay sexy. One love, one love. Let's peace out. Boom, 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 boom. Becoming Patreon member. Get access to my blog. Get access to exclusive videos. And also get access to the podcast of the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfup to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.